Another episode of Rangers Talk here with Nico. Nick will be here soon. He's just in the waiting room right now, but we'll bring him in. But yeah, today we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the game against the Arizona Coyotes, talk about the game against the Philadelphia Flyers, Red Wings, and the Bruins. Got all those games that happened, and not a lot of good going on with the Rangers right now. And yeah, the first comment I agree with. We'll get to that later, but a solid way to start things. But we'll talk about all of it. Let's just jump into it, not waste
Hold on.
time.
Hold on. Before we start, I'll be right back. I actually got to take care of something. I'll be back shortly.
Okay, he had to announce his dismissal there.
Just say I'll be back. Hold on. I
Okay,
apologize. Hold on.
all right, for sure. All right, so first we'll start with the game against the Arizona Coyotes, which first game at Mullet Arena for the Rangers there. What an arena. What an arena that was. Interesting game though that went on. This was a game that it could have been more. It could have been more for the Rangers. They could have dominated this game more, and they really could have got more goals in this game. The scoring opened from Alexi Lafreniere in the second period. The first period they dominated, if I remember correctly, and they just couldn't
Yeah,
get anyone.
second. Yeah, I think the first they played phenomenal. They couldn't get one by the goalie. I don't even know who was in net for them. It was like who even was it?
It was what's the name? Connor Ingram.
Yeah, Connor Ingram. Yeah, he was putting on a show a little bit in the first period, if I could recall, a little long ago now. But yeah, I remember we couldn't get one past him, and then second period is when we opened up the scoring with Lafreniere.
Yeah, and I don't even. I'm trying to remember that goal. Wasn't it him crashing the crease? Panarin passed that one as he was crashing the crease there.
Hold on, did we? We did the Dallas game.
You weren't here for
Oh, right,
that
right.
last
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, okay, my bad. So, wait, what'd you say there?
That was the one where Lafreniere crashed the crease, right? Panarin with that
Yeah,
feed. Yeah.
Panarin with the feed, and then Lafreniere buried it.
Yeah, so that opened the scoring, and the Rangers kind of let the Coyotes get in the game after. Lawson Krause opens the scoring for Arizona there on the power play, and I don't even remember the penalty. I think that this was one of the stupid ones that they took, but I do remember the Nick Bukestad goal because you have, as John Giannone said, you had Ryan Lindgren swinging like he's going down and missing like a New York
Yeah.
Yankee, and Nick Bukestad has a field day, and he buries that one past Igor Shesterkin. A beautiful backhanded shot that tied the thing up at 2. Artemi Panarin, though, late in the second period,
On his
no,
birthday.
he ties the game up at 2,
Yeah.
and that goal was just a muffin on net, and it somehow trickled past
Snuck
Connor
by.
Ingram, but we'll take it. And the third period, the Rangers controlled pretty much this entire game. Mika Zibanejad ended up scoring on the power play in this one, late in it, the classic one-timer shot, because that's all the Rangers do. But they win this one 3-2. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about this game. This game, they just dominated. They looked like the better team. This could have been a 6-2 game, could have been more, but they just could get some past Connor Ingram, who made a couple big saves.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Rangers did what they needed to do in this one. You got to go into Arizona and get 2 points, simple as that, and that's what they did. So you got to be happy. They played a good game, and rightfully so, because we should be beating up on teams like the Arizona Coyotes if we're holding ourselves to these high standards of Stanley Cup aspirations. So it was an all-around solid game. Good for Panarin to get one on his birthday there. I thought Igor was solid, and wait, was Igor in net that, or was it?
Yes, he was in
It
that.
was, yeah. He was on the, yeah. And yeah, I was happy with the effort. It was
And the
a good
reason
game.
you know that is because it was a win.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Hawk hasn't won a game yet, so what am I bugging about?
But yeah, that was overall solid. Like you said, Panarin on his birthday, having a great game. 3 points for him on that night. And Vinny Trocheck, too, hit a couple posts, I remember there. He had
Mm-hmm.
a great game. 8 shots on goal for him. Great game from Vinny Trocheck there. And you overall got solid production from everybody all around. Maybe the bottom 6 could have helped out more, but there's not much to talk about. It's the Arizona Coyotes. They won the game, and then we'll move on to the next good game because they played the Philadelphia Flyers, and this was arguably their best game of the season. They somehow only won this game 1-0. There isn't even much to talk about when it comes to the 3 periods because the Rangers just dominated. I think in the second period they had their best period where they should have easily have got like 4 or 5 past Carter Hart. They hit 4 posts in the game as well. They should have dominated this game more than they did, but Kreider ended up winning it in overtime on the breakaway. And that's pretty much all that happened. The Rangers playing their best game, like I said, of the season, probably outshot the Flyers 36-19 and looked like a dominant team all night. I don't have much else to add other than that, but you thought maybe it would be a step in the right direction.
Yep. They played really good. Carter Hart was just robbing them. They were hitting post after post. And yeah, as you said, it was a good effort. Didn't allow much high danger chances. And they looked solid. And you were feeling good with a 3-game win streak at this point. And Kreider sealing it in OT, as we said. It was scary that it got down to OT because it would have been a brutal loss after how good they played. But thankfully, they got it done.
It's one thing. I know I praised the Flyers plenty of times before with Torts, but it's one thing to do it, against a team like this. But you got to do it against like better teams that like probably are more respectable teams that are legitimate cup contenders. And I'm not, and like I said, I've praised the Flyers, but I mean, I'm not gonna say they're legit cup contenders just yet. I mean, obviously they have to still prove a lot more, and we'll see what other pieces, trade acquisitions they make and whatnot. But you got to be able to perform like that against other teams or better teams, like such as like the Bruins, such as the Avalanche, and obviously we couldn't do that. So even though we pretty much dominated the whole game was pretty much in the Flyers defensive zone and our offensive zone, but we couldn't do that against the Bruins the next game. And it's a lot of this going down. There's not enough of this. There's a lot of up and downs, and throughout an 82 game season, you gotta keep going upward. You're gonna have your bumps there and there, but you just got to keep going upward. And we're just up and down. We're very inconsistent, and we're still trying to find that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, that was a good game, but we still have to do that, against legitimate cup contenders.
Yep, completely agree. And we haven't even seen an effort like that since they played a cup contender, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that was game 1 of the season. We are at game 14 coming up tomorrow. You see the problem here. There's not really a whole lot to add on to this game, and it sucks because it is a game they won. It is a game they looked great in, but there is not too much to talk about, and except for the fact that it's good that they won because, like Nico said, it would have been just a kick in the balls if they lost this game. This would have been a stinger, but at the same time, if they did lose, maybe they show a better effort in next game against the Boston Bruins because this was just flat out embarrassing, to say the least. So to open up the scoring, it's David Pastrnak, and on this one, you had Igor Shesterkin just... I don't know if he had a lag spike there or what, but something happened there. He lifts the net. David Pastrnak throws a backhander on goal. Probably would have went high if he didn't lift the net there, but that ended up being the case, and that made it a 1-0 game. Second period, though, Jimmy Vesey ends up tying the game at 1 off of a beautiful pass by Mika Zibanejad there as Vesey was coming in off the rush, and like I said, tied things at 1. Charlie Coyle, though, ends up scoring in the third period to open the scoring there. I don't remember what happened.
That was the Trouba where he couldn't take his stick away. I mean, no surprise.
Yeah, which we'll get to Trouba later. That was brutal. Adam Fox, though, ties the game not too long after, yet again, with a beautiful shot on goal. Snipes one past Linus Ullmark. Only for Trent Frederick to score a little bit after that, which we'll talk about something else that happened in the game with Trent Frederick. But he ends up scoring on that one. Don't remember even what happened there. This game, I completely am blanking on what happened. Does anyone remember on the Frederick goal?
It was just like a kind of a weird play. He got a one-timer from the
The goal where he like kind of spun around and just like kind of
just fired it towards net.
Yeah, that was fucking pathetic. Excuse my French. That should have been saved. I don't even care.
Yeah,
muffin goals, like, bro, like, whatever. Go ahead.
It was a bad one.
Then you had the DeBrusque goal. After that, that was only 4 minutes after, which made it 4-2. And right then and there, you knew the game was over. Between that and the end of the game, you had Braden Schneider throw a monster hit on Trent Frederick, and then you had him dropping the mitts with Barker Goodrow. Braden Schneider dropped the mitts with AJ Greer, I think it was. So that was pretty much all that happened there. And then Hampus Lindholm buried the empty netter. And where do we start with this one? Where do we start? Because this was pathetic, embarrassing, and oh yeah, you also had Ryan Lindgren get hurt in this game. That's another thing. If you want to just add insult to the wound, that was another thing. They got dominated in the faceoff dot, 61-39. Got outshot 37-20. What do we do? What do we do?
We have to be better. We have to be better. It's as simple as that. And I sound like a broken record because I've said this in past episodes, but you just got to be better on both sides of the puck. You know, I can't express that enough. Easier said than done, but you know, these are NHLers and it's very, you know, it's possible. You know, you just got to figure it out. What kind of team are we? Are we going to score a lot of goals? We're going to fill the net up, or we're going to play more conservative? Like, what team are we? And I just feel like, you know, part of our inconsistency is, you know, not finding what we are as a team. I don't even think the players know who they are as a team. You know, what is Mika Zibanejad? Is he just going to be a guy that's just going to score a lot of goals on the power play, or is he actually going to like help us 5v5? You know, I don't. It's just a lot of question marks right now, and I don't know what it is, but everyone just needs to be better. Let's start with playing, you know, just what we're capable of, and then I think everything, you know, should figure itself out there slowly. But I think we should just focus on, you know, we're not the team, but hopefully they'll just focus on just being a better player, you know, their next few games and playing up to their abilities that we know they're capable of, and then hopefully they'll figure, you know, everything else out as a team. But they got to play as a team to win games. You know, they got to play as a 5-man unit. So, yeah, well, including goalies, so 6-man. So, but yeah, they just got to play quality hockey on both sides of the puck. And it's just
and develop an identity.
Yeah,
they don't have one.
Like, yeah, I just don't know with this team. Too much up and down, like inconsistent. One game will be really good, and then the next day we just won't show up. I don't know if that falls on Gallant. I don't know if that falls on Gord Murphy, Mike Kelly, whoever it is. Just got to get these guys going, you know, and got to figure out a game plan because whatever we're doing, it's not working. We keep doing the same BS over and over again, expecting a different result, and we're not getting the results that we want. It's too it's too inconsistent. We just got to find consistency, a game plan we can rely on, and, you know, run with it until, you know, it can't be, you know, used anymore. So, we just got to figure it out, and whatever, you know, you got to make adjustments because whatever we're doing right now isn't working.
Yeah, I agree with everything Nick had to say. This was an ugly game. You expect in a game like this, you got to come out hot. You're playing a juggernaut of a team here that have looked amazing to start the year, and you know you expect to be able to compete with these type of teams, but they look like a lost cause out there. The Rangers for 2/3 of this game, I would say, they had a good second period. Thought they were getting a lot of good chances, and you know, if you want to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, saying Ryan Lindgren went out early after running with 5D, but still no excuse in my opinion for the just odd man rushes, the bad defense being played. the bottom six has just been a huge problem. They didn't contribute anything to that game whatsoever. As we said, Mika Zibanejad's got to wake up on the 5v5 scoring, which I'm sure we'll get to later. But yeah, it was not a good game at all, and left Ranger fans disappointed, to say the least.
And I don't even care, like, we made a deep run. Like, you see the difference between, like, the Boston Bruins, big body, experienced team. You know, they didn't give us jack, like, when it came to scoring opportunities. Like, they defended, credit to them. I hated it, but they defended it. They defended us so well, and they just played it. They played a mature, experienced game, and something we have to get at. And, you know, I know we have some young guys, but, you know, we also got some veterans too, you know, so we could get to that game. We just gotta, you know, figure who we are as a team first and then go from there. But you just saw the difference between, you know, the way the Bruins play a, you know, full 60 minutes compared to the New York Rangers. You know, the Bruins just kept it simple, defend, you know, make sure you take care of that, and, you know, the rest will take care of itself. You know, you'll get your scoring opportunities, but the Rangers, they just couldn't get it together on both sides. I mean, even though we scored a couple goals, I still feel like we need to produce more scoring opportunities. I don't think we're nearly getting enough, you know, opportunities as we probably probably think that we could get. And you look at some of the elite teams in this league, they get, you know, not every game, but when they get going, you know, they're getting opportunity after opportunity. You know, they're in the mix. Every rush, there's a chance, like, okay, there's going to be a, you know, a really good scoring chance, you know, and they, you know, they defend well first, though, you know, and that's what we have to do. We just, you know, just do what, you know, Boston does, just defend really well, force the play to the outside, and, you know, don't give them much to deal with. I also noticed we're collapsing way too much in the slot, and we're giving whoever we're playing at the point, you know, way too much room to work with. You know, we're not actually, like, you know, pressuring the points. We're just, like, collapsing, and I think that's part of the problem too. We're just
I noticed that more against Detroit.
Yeah, we're giving teams too much time, you know, and that's going to kill us, you know, when we face, like, really good teams, like teams like the Avalanche, who have, like, Makar and, you know, Taves, or Moritz Seider for Detroit, or go to Carolina, Slavin, Brent Burns. You know, you can't give those guys time and space, you know, like, you know, if you're going to collapse, fine, but, you know, once the puck goes to the point, you know, you got to get there. You got to press the point slowly, not slowly, but you got to get there, you know, pretty quickly, and just really close in on them and not give them enough, you know, just don't give them space to work with, because if you do, you know, it's going to be, you know, dangerous. You're not going to, I don't know if you'll win many hockey games, you know, if you're going to let teams with elite D-men, that kind of time and space to work with. So I think,
and I find it odd that they don't play that style of game with covering the point that way, because this is a team that, especially with Gallant, you notice with his teams in the past, they like to score off of the rush. And if you're pressuring the point more, you have a better chance of forcing a turnover and getting a rush the other way.
mm-hmm.
But instead, you're trying to just collapse and protect the house, and you're just trying to play this weird style of defense, and it's just not working at all. And you're not getting any offensive opportunities because you're not forcing turnovers, forcing rushes the other way. And when you are trying to get something going offensively, you're making these stupid passes in the neutral zone, forcing a turnover, and the other team's getting a rush.
Yeah, two things. Number one, like, and we don't, considering how much we collapse in front of the net, we don't block enough shots. Like, that's pretty much the whole point of it. You know, you block shots, you know, and, you know, cover, like, you know, plays, you know, in the slot. But it's funny that we collapse and we still let in, you know, some wide open chances in the slot, which I find hilarious, you know. But that's besides the point. Like
and
Evan said.
deflections.
Yeah, but you're also not even helping Igor at the same time. Like I don't know if we collapsed nearly as much last year, but I mean I don't think it mattered anyways. Our defense was still dog water. It'll say we were a good defensive team, but we weren't really good. Just Igor, being Igor. But we just got to cover. I feel like we just got to have better D zone coverage. Just get the points a little bit more and try to cause problems up top. And really get a solid mixture between high and low coverage, and I think that'll also give Igor a little bit of an easier job because he doesn't have as many bodies in front, and maybe he'll be able to see a shot better from the point or wherever. I think in general he'll be able to see shots better, but yeah, and then I also feel like we have way too many turnovers in our own zone too. Like
Yep.
that also doesn't help either. Like this is just not good hockey.
And a lot of it is because they can't even make a simple breakout pass out of their own zone.
Yeah, like this isn't good hockey we're playing, and I don't know. I wish I was the coach right now because I would just try to make these changes. But I mean, I can only do what we're doing now and just hope that they make the change. But
yep,
but
it's out of our control. And the last thing I'll say about this loss before we move on to the next game, which kind of infuriated me more than this one, believe it or not, despite them getting dominated more in this game. I'm tired of the excuse that people are like, oh, well, we played the Boston Bruins. They were 10-1 entering the night.
No.
I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody is sorry for you. There's no excuses. You're in the NHL and you need to be one of the better teams. If you made the Final Four last year and you're trying to prove that you're a legit team, then show it. Show that you're a legit team. Show why you made the Final Four. Show that you're legit. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse if you're legitimately a cup contender here. Why are we making that excuse?
Yeah, and they have to prove it too, because there's a lot of people, including myself, that really do think that last year might have been a fluke, and I want to be proven wrong, and I'm not seeing any hope really with this team. It's frustrating because I know we could do a lot better, but I'm also, disappointed. I don't know what's said in the locker room, but I'm a little disappointed in the coaching just to, not make some noticeable changes that, to our game plan, to help this team, because where we're at right now, it's not about developing players. It's winning. Like, we have to win. And, we came out of the rebuild and we made the Final Four, and now we got to show why we're a Final Four team. Why, we got to show that we're going to be able to compete for a cup year in and year out, and playing like this isn't going to cut it. But, I mean, it's still early. We have time to figure it out, but it's got to be soon because, once you fall back, it's too late.
That American Thanksgiving date.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very tough to come back and make up all of that when you could have done it in the beginning when teams were rusty, teams trying to figure out, how they want to play for the upcoming year. And maybe it could be a lack of preparation from our side. Maybe we weren't really ready for the hockey season to begin. And that's why we're off to the start that we are off to.
The excuses are unreal too. Like, I'm seeing people say it's a hangover from making the Final Four last year. I'm seeing people say, "Oh, well, the Avalanche are off to a slow start in Tampa Bay." No. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any excuses. I
don't want to hear the Tampa excuse. They've been proving them. They proved themselves already. All right, they've been in a play. They've been competing for a cup since 2014. John Cooper's first full season. Cooper stepped in middle of 2013 to replace Guy Boucher, and and he got that team the next year, literally, to the playoffs. Lost in the first round, and then literally the next year, cup final, they lost, conference final, missed the playoffs by a point. Then they go back to the conference final, swept in the first round. Then they win a cup, and then they won another cup. Like they're there. They've been in the mix. I don't want to hear the Tampa excuse.
We'll
anymore.
get some more excuses later on.
And I
that I'm
hate. I
hearing.
also want to point out too, like I hate fans using. This is kind of a little off topic, but they're using Chris Kreider to like as a scapegoat to like the team's poor like play overall. I'm like, bro, the whole team has been dog shit. Like I don't even
Who's
care.
been good? Who?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Like they'll say Kako, they'll say Panarin or Mika, like being like tied with McDavid for power play points. Like, I don't give a fuck. Are we winning hockey games? No, we're not. So the team isn't playing well. Literally, shut up. Like it's about wins. I don't care about power play points. I care about wins. Wins only. I don't. No one's gonna say jack about the players if we're winning. But they'll just try to cope and be like, oh yeah, Mika's tied with McDavid for power play points. Like stop coping. Just face the reality. We suck right now. Like
I'm not you guys obviously know. I've made it clear. We all know. None of us here are Trouba defenders, Trouba supporters by any means.
No.
And in fact, he's the whipping boy here. But I'm tired even too of him getting singled out for the blame here. Like,
yeah, why are we
nobody's
not
playing
shitting
good.
on Trouba? Why are we not shitting on Trouba? But we'll shit on a 50 goal score.
I
know
think
what
he's
mean?
getting. I think he's getting a lot of blame. I just am not seeing enough blame on the other guys. Why are we not blaming anyone else but Kreider and Trouba right now? Nobody's playing good. There's
Yeah.
nobody playing good. And again, we'll discuss all this more. I just want to get to comments before we move on to the Detroit game quickly. Dylan, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole tonight.
Also,
no.
like, using Kreider as a scapegoat. I hate when fans expect Kreider to play like Zibanejad, to play like Panarin, when he's never been that kind of player. That's gonna take the puck and literally dangle around defenders and go top, bar down, top cheese. Like he's a very simple player. He's in front of the net, trying to help his teammates out, get the dirty goals, get the greasy deflection goals. When puck battles in the corner. I hate when fans actually bitch about his like 5v5, like, oh, he's not helping enough, like this and that. Like, bro, like, what do you want him to be? Like Austin Matthews? I don't like. Where do you think all of his goals came from? Down literally in the slot, literally like nowhere else. I hate it. I hate it so much that fans can't like identify like what kind of player Chris Kreider truly is, and they'll still use him as a scapegoat. And yet they won't shit on a $8 million defender who's not even good. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stand it from these fans. I hate to shit on our fan base, but it's true. I can't. Just admit the team isn't playing well. Just gotta admit it. Stop coping. Just stop making excuses. We're not playing well. We could do a lot better.
Christopher says, sup, dude, Islanders had a big game tonight. Let's hope we stop them tomorrow. You would think coming off a back-to-back and how much they got dominated at the start of the game. But we know that the Rangers have not been beating teams that are coming off a back-to-back. So not too sure about that one. And Lucas says, I hope the Rangers will step it up. Yep, need them to. And it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, in my opinion, it's game 14, but it's the biggest game of the year in a way. Like, if you lose to the Islanders here,
yeah,
that it's a wake-up call.
Concern.
Especially if you get dominated like you have. If that's not a wake-up call and warrants a back skate, I don't know what will. I really don't know what will. And yeah, Christopher, we obviously agree with that take there, but we're not gonna go on a rant there about it. We've been there, done that before. But let's talk about this last game against Detroit, which infuriated me the most. So,
before we even get into it, it was a bad hockey game when you blow a 2-0 lead.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, I was actually going to start there. If you want the Rangers to lose in any fashion, don't worry. They have you covered. If you want them to come back and then choke the game last second, they have your back. If you want them to get dominated, they have your back. If you want them to take a 2-goal lead and blow it, they have your back. Well, let's talk about that because that's exactly what happened. First period, Kako opens the scoring from Kreider and Trouba. Kako picking up a loose puck down low, and he just snipes one past Alex Nedeljkovic. Nothing he could have done. The defense was just playing abysmal there. and then the Rangers get a power play later in the first period, and the one-timer actually worked. And I had someone on Twitter being like, well, Kakko wouldn't have made that pass because I said Kakko should be on power play 1 over Panarin. Panarin set up Zibanejad for that one-timer. And to nobody's surprise, the Rangers choked this one. Starts with a Luff tipping goal from a Sherratt shot, and Libor Hayek fails to tie up his man there. So he ends up getting the deflection. Again, what we talked about, the Rangers playing, collapsing towards the net and protecting the house, yet not
We do
playing
this
and showing
collapse
their
bullshit, and we don't even do a good job. Like, what's the
exactly.
point of
So
even
what's the
doing?
point?
Yeah, what's the point of even doing it if you're still gonna get fucking exposed? Like,
It's laughable.
that's sad. That just shows how bad your defense is. If you're actually trying to do something and you're still getting like scored on, that's sad. That's terrible.
Yep. And speaking of sad, you have a terrible line change decision. You have forwards gliding back on this one. Trouba and Jones looking lost out there on a 3-on-2, and Pia Suter gets set up backdoor, and you can't blame Halak yet again on that one. He made the first 2 stops. You can't expect them to make the third one there, and that tied it up. Third period, well, that second period, by the way, I don't know if it was just me. Did that put you to sleep? Because, wow, did that put me to sleep? That was awful. That was awful.
What, the second period?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
That put me to sleep.
It's
and
horrible.
The third period, not a lot that happened on either side. The Rangers
We looked
failing
dead.
to generate
We looked
scoring
fucking
chances.
dead.
Yet
Halak
again,
honestly got us a point in that one.
We looked dead as fuck. Yeah.
yeah, Halak is the reason we got a point in this one, which, again, I'll say it, fuck these pity points. Like, they're so stupid. I don't care. And Keandre Miller, questionable call here, but ends up being called a penalty there. And then Dominic Kubalik gets one because Jacob Trouba, yet again.
That was Adam Fox down low.
No, but he had the pass go right through him. And, yep, Dominic Kubalik buries that one.
Fox is right next to Kubalik. No?
I thought it was Trouba that let the pass go through.
Yeah, that was definitely true. But I think Fox was on the ice.
Fox was literally on Kubalik. He was trying to cover 2 guys. I don't know who actually was covering the pass, whoever passed it, but I know Fox was. Regardless, doesn't fucking matter. We shouldn't have blown that lead, and doesn't matter.
Yeah, and Halak broke his stick. Can't blame him. And yeah, the Rangers get outshot yet again, 36-29. Face-offs, they got dominated as well. Nothing went right, and you had the weirdest line combinations late in this game too. Which I want to get to because why? Let's start with the Jones benching. Actually, I'm trying to understand. So Gallant said after the game, yeah, there was no reason for benching Jones. Gord Murphy just had that decision.
Yeah, Gord Murphy is the biggest idiot of all time.
What did Jones do that warranted to get benched when Braden Schneider had an awful game? Jacob Trouba had an awful game yet again.
Every day.
Nobody's playing good. Why are we just going to bench Zach Jones? I'd rather him go out there, learn from his mistake, and grow as a defenseman so he could actually maybe step up on the depth chart because none of these other idiots want to show up right now.
It's embarrassing.
I don't understand that decision. And then Chris Kreider gets demoted to the 4th line. And Gerard Gallant does the Sheldon Keefe special and throws him out there first shift in overtime.
Yeah.
Are you sending a statement or are you not? Are you going to bench him or not? What is the point of throwing him out there in overtime if you're trying to send a message, but you put him out there on the biggest part of the game? And then the galaxy branding of the lines. Sammy Blais on the second line is beyond moronic. You had Trocheck playing with VC and Blais.
Poor Trocheck.
What are we doing?
Poor Trocheck.
I don't know.
It's so questionable.
There's got to be, honestly, there's got to, now I'm thinking about it, and it's because of the comment Chris made, which was, I thought was interesting because he mentioned about Kreider not getting the captaincy. Could have that divided the locker room? I don't know how true that is. Maybe it's a possibility, but
I wonder right
but I
now
want
if
to
he didn't
say
even
this.
get offered the captaincy and he's pissed about it, and that's why he's not playing as well.
But I think there's got to be some internal issues, like in the locker room, that we're not.
That's another thing. Where is the leadership right now?
Yeah,
Where?
there is no leadership. That's the thing. Truba's ass. He can't lead by example. I don't give a fuck what he does with this. Anyone can do this. Actions speak louder than words. The saying is true.
Mhm.
And if you don't offer, I don't, if they didn't offer Kreider the C, I don't care who, it doesn't even matter who was getting C. Ryan Strome, if he was still here, he could have gotten the C, and players would still say how great of a leader he is. You got to do that. You can't just throw your teammate under the bus. So whatever you hear from teammates about Trua being a good captain, it's nonsense. All right. They're going to obviously say good things. What are they going to say? Oh, he's ass. He's his teammate. You can't just, make the locker room toxic, Yeah, we don't know if they actually wanted necessarily, Truba, I mean, maybe not. Even though they said it was a locker room decision, was it really a locker room decision? Because now the play, what we're seeing on the ice is it's ass. It's ass. We have no leader. And then
I question even Kreider's leadership. I question everyone's leadership. Who's leading? Nobody.
There's no one.
There's
no
nobody
guy.
stepping up. There's no one leading by example out
what
there.
I'm trying to say is, if it maybe wasn't so much of a locker room decision as much as the media made it seem to be. Maybe Gallant just said, "Yeah, fuck it. Here's the C. I want you to be the C because you're the next Scott Stevens." I really think maybe some players have been like affected by that, and maybe they should. A lot of them might have thought Kreider should have been, offered the captaincy as well, considering he's been here through thick and thin, and it's been pretty clear that he's been the leader since Hank, left. So, yeah, like I just don't understand, and I think some players might have been affected by it. I heard mixed stories with Truba. I heard Truba is a douche in the locker room. I've heard Truba is a great guy. I don't know what to believe with this guy. The fact that I'm not even sure what to believe.
And by the way, what you're referring to with Truba being bad in the locker room, there was stories from Winnipeg of him being questionable. Just want to make that clear for everyone.
Yeah, like I the fact that I have that, like mixed like feelings about it, like I that's not good. You shouldn't have that about a player. Like if we look at the old Rangers, I bet everyone's a character guy. Everyone's nice. McDonough, great guy. Ryan Callahan, he's a cool guy. Like no way. They were like Jacob Trubas. Like you've seen what you just see with the work that they do with the Garden of the Dreams Foundation. And like I said, actions speak louder than words. I don't care if Truba was just recently volunteering in a Garden of the Dreams Foundation. He was probably paid $1,000 just to do it. Like he did that. That's just like a once in a blue moon. Like he don't even do that crap. Like
I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but all I'll say is on the ice right now, I don't see a leader. I don't care who has a C, who has an A, who doesn't have a letter. There is not a single person that is showing any sort of leadership, and it's plain and simple, and it's fairly obvious. And I will never forget, for as long as this team keeps struggling, I will never forget that picture that I took at the Ranger Islander game of the Islanders. They're up 3-0, still conferencing at the bench, and the Rangers are just sitting there, head down, exhausted. Tired of what? Are you tired of losing? Because that's the only thing you could be tired of. You're not playing good hockey. What else are you tired of? I mean, I don't understand it at all. And to get some more comments here.
And Chris made another good comment, by the way, with
we'll pull that up in a second. Let me just read the other ones. I was surprised Kakko didn't get the chance in overtime to play with Mika, considering he was one of the he was one of the 2 or 3 players that showed up. I've been beating the drum for a while that Kakko should get more opportunities, but nope. Gotta give it, because we have guys making top bucks right now, and we have leaders. Yes, Justin. Yeah. That's yeah. Cried's fresh off a 50-goal season, and they give the seat to Trouba, who daily takes bad penalties. The guys must feel the same way we do. I
Yeah,
thought
this comment right here,
Panarin's joke
this is
about how
true.
should have been him was less of a joke. It really seemed telling.
Like, I feel like Panarin making that joke, like like Chris is kind of saying, we thought it was a joke, but maybe like low key, like he's like saying like, you probably shouldn't have gone like as even though it's probably a joke, like at the same time, it's like maybe he actually was being serious. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe the locker room decision on that.
There's got to be some
who knows
going on.
We don't know what's going on in the
I
locker
feel like
room.
there's some beef going on in the locker room that we're not aware of, like high key, not even low key, high key. Like there's got to be something going on. I bet you any amount of money, Trouba's beefing with someone in the locker room right now, low key, and that's messing with the chemistry of the whole team. I gotta, especially with Evan saying like Trouba's been questionable in the locker room in Winnipeg. I gotta imagine he's beefing with someone in the locker room right now, and he's causing problems, and that's reflecting the play, our performance on the ice. I have to imagine that.
I agree, Core. We were better off when we had no captains and just alternates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a reason.
If we're not going to name Chris Kreider the captain, then yeah, fine. I'd rather just name no captain.
Yep, completely agree. Let's see if there's any more comments quickly to get to. I think there's one coming in.
We're just a disaster right now.
But yeah, we are a disaster. And let's move on from the Detroit game. There's a couple quotes that I want to talk about from Gallant here because there's some questionable things that he's been saying. So Gallant said that his message to Kreider and the other vets were, they've got to lead our team when we're not playing as well. And that's not giving the young guys an excuse or giving the third and fourth lines an excuse, but it's got to start at the top. Our best players have got to be our best players. I've been saying this for weeks now. I'm glad Gallant said it. Are the players going to respond?
Gallant will just say these things, and then nothing will happen. Nothing will ever come out of it. Like we've seen it in the past before. Yeah, the question is he actually going to, relay that message to the locker room? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's gotta really sit the guys down in the locker room and be telling them this, and not just to the media, so they can, really get the point. And because I don't know what Gallant's doing as a recent.
Gallant's just doing this for show at this point. If he ain't gonna do anything about it.
Well, I guess we could jump to that conversation. Is this a system problem or is this a player problem?
I think it's both, because we got 52 wins despite having poor 5v5 and poor defense. Like I said, our defense says it's good. It was good, but our defense was actually ass. And I think it's also a player problem because we're visibly worse. We're noticeably worse than last year. And I know, like I said, last season, we weren't great 5v5 or defensively. It's actually noticeably worse too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that answers the next question I had lined up. Yeah, completely agree.
I think the biggest problem is the system, because the system proves it's not effective, but at the same time, it's obvious that the players have regressed. And honestly, you play under a poor system, you're going to get poor results. Simple as that. So I think the core problem, the base, I think it's the system, and that's reflecting our piss poor play personally.
Yeah. Nico, what do you have to say?
I would say more of a player problem. I think it is a system problem though too, for sure, because at the end of the day, it's the players going out there on the ice looking for the results. So I don't know. I just haven't seen it from the Rangers. Like, there's so many problems. I feel like half the defensemen on this team are just not good hockey players. Jones, Schneider, Truba, Hayek have all
We
really
overrated the
underwhelmed
Steve
me.
Core.
Yeah, Fox, Lindgren, and Miller are the only guys. Like, even Miller at times, it's like he could be a little sketchy on the ice. So the
just
bottom
feel like-
six reeks. I don't even know.
I just feel like if you tell the players, your own players, to stay in like certain positions, like certain like areas at certain times, don't tell them to just skate around like a bunch of, like your words, Evan, like a bunch of headless chickens. Just tell them to be in specific areas at certain times, and I feel like that can honestly, if it's the right area at the right time, just position them correctly. If you can get that, I feel like the results will come with that as well. But I think it's a big part of it is a player problem, but the system is proven not to work.
I definitely think it's both. And one of the main problems, I think, too, there is zero accountability from players, from coaches, from anyone. There is zero accountability at all. When have we heard anyone say, yeah, I'm not playing well enough? Yeah, I'm not coaching well enough. Yeah, there's a system problem here. Nobody has said a word of at all and taken responsibility for the piss poor effort of play, for the piss poor systems in place. Nobody's taking any sort of accountability here. And when are we going to hear it? Especially from Gallant, because how many times are we going to hear the same garbage of him calling out these players? How about for once you open your stupid mouth and say, yeah, I'm not coaching well enough. It starts with me. I need to be better. And as much as the players are struggling out there, it comes to me as well. I need to be able to coach better. Instead of this garbage where, our top guys aren't showing up and it starts with them. They need to. How about it starts with you, Gallant? How about you hold yourself accountable? How about you coach better? Because the way that he's coaching right now, not good enough.
No, yeah, it sucks, and I hate how he lies to himself too. He thinks his system and his coaching abilities is good. Like, no, it's not fucking good. Just stop lying to yourself. Face the facts. Fix your shit. Okay, fix your shit. Like, I don't even know. I think I think the poor system is really reflecting our poor play on the ice. I think if we played under a better system, I think our play would be a little bit better, but. You could say the same thing. Oh, at the end of the day, like Nico said, it's the players on the ice. I think you can give a really good reason to who's really at fault right now, the players and the coach. I think equally they're both at fault. But but at the same time, I do believe like if we played under a better system, more complete system, I think the results will show. More wins, more consistency. Whatever. It's gonna be off topic, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. I was gonna say like how are we supposed to, like how did we like back then like string like 8-9 game win streaks for like no problem, and now we struggle to get like 5. Like I don't understand. Like what? I don't understand.
Yeah, our biggest win streak last year was what, 7?
6, I think it was.
I think it was 7. Actually, it was 6 or 7, whatever it was.
Like, but the majority of them were like 3 to like 5, 3, 4. At most. It was pathetic.
Let's say there is a locker room issue. How much of the fault do you think it falls on the coach? I think that a lot of it does, because you clearly lost the room if you aren't able to get these guys under control. If leaders aren't going to step up, if nobody's going to step up, you have to be the one to step up. And if they're not listening to you, you lost the room.
Yeah, 100%. Just like David Quinn, there was a disconnect between him and Panarin, Zibanejad, and look what happened, So you know, once you lose the room, you know, you're gone. You're probably gonna get fired.
And it's only after 1 year, which is also what scares me at the same time too, that this is a player problem because if we go through one more coach and that coach loses the room
Oh.
as fast as Gallant did,
Yikes.
yeah, clearly these guys are uncoachable and you have to do a major shakeup because
Yeah.
this isn't acceptable. We've always had a poor system, but was overshadowed last year with Shesterkin stealing games and having one of the best power plays in the league. I mean, yeah, it's been since John Tortorella since we've had a good system in place.
Mm.
And
That's been
what's
quite
crazy
some
is
time now.
as much as we shit on Alain Vigneault, you fans better be fucking grateful the fact that we had Alain Vigneault. This guy AV was a lot better than fucking Gallant. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I don't care. I don't care. I actually appreciate AV now a lot more. The fact that we had him. I don't care what anyone says. This is insane. How are we bad offensively and defensively? How does that even make any sense? Like you would think you'd be good at like at least one of them, right? Like offense or
We're not good
defense.
at anything.
You know, we're like you can argue that you can argue that David Quinn is a little bit better considering the fact that we were actually able to score goals. At least we were able to score goals.
Wow.
Trust me, our defense was bad, but you know, we can't even do anything right under Gallant. Like, bro, like, how's that possible? I don't care if he's a player's coach. I don't care if players get along with him better. You know, like, I mean, it's a big part. You know, you got to get along with your coach, but at the same time, it's like we can't do anything right.
They need something in between Gallant and Torts. Yeah, they need someone that's going to be a bit more of a disciplinarian and actually tell these guys how it is and tell them if they're not playing good enough, because I think Gallant's too soft on these guys to the point where if he does try to say something in the locker room, they don't give a shit. They just are like, okay, he's not going to bench us either way. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you try and send a message to Kreider last game, and then you put him back out in overtime. What are you doing?
That's just showing that, you know, you're playing your favorites, you know, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to like, you know, do that to him just because of his veteran, you know, status, you know, like you don't show any good, you know, with putting Kreider on the fourth line and just to put him out on the first overtime. That just shows that you play favorites and, you know, people only have, depending, you know, your playing time dictates on, you know, how long you've been in the league and what you've done, you know, like that would never happen to like a Zach Jones, you know, or a Lafreniere or a Kakko just because of their age, you know. It's weird, it's messed up, and it really messes with like the emotions of like the younger kids. You know, I don't understand what was going through Gallant's mind, but I mean, oh my God, I really feel like this could honestly be more of a locker room issue. There's something going on in the locker room. I really do feel like
I have a feeling it's kind of what I said, where Gallant, if he tries to get a hold of these guys, it doesn't matter. They don't want to listen. They don't care because, like I said, they're not going to get benched. They're not going to. And the only guys that have any reason to go out and show out to play are the younger guys. And we're kind of seeing them go out there and putting the effort in. Why? Because if not, they're going to get their ass parked on the bench by Gallant. Where Gallant with the older guys, the veterans, nah, you don't get benched.
Countless opportunities.
Just keep going out there. He's too.
If you're a veteran, yes,
on these guys.
Miko just made a good point, and it's like this with every sport. The older you are, the more opportunities you get. Like it's insane. It's insane. How about we just
too dependent, and you gotta be able to use your depth, guys. If you want to win it all, look at how we actually won it all last year. Your third line was your biggest. You got the biggest contributions from them in the playoffs. The fourth line actually played quality hockey out there when you had Mott, Rooney, and Gaudreau out there. It's not a coincidence. You need to be able to roll out all four lines, and you need to get quality production, not dependent on all just on your top guys. If you're just a top-heavy team, you're not going anywhere. It's just that simple, and that's the reason why we didn't go anywhere with David Quinn. because he was way too reliant on the top guys, way too top heavy. And Justin asks, what's good with Miller? Literally looks like a different player this season. If you mean a good way or bad way, I don't know what you mean, because I think he's looked better, but I don't think he's looked outstanding right now. Like, there could be a bit more from him.
I just can't believe we're a year and a half, later since Golan's been hired.
And we
And
already have to question if
we're
he should-
talking about possibly a coaching change. I remember a year and a half ago.
Nick,
What?
if I said this to you, Nick, I'm saying it here. If the Rangers go 0-4 or 1-3 on the West Coast trip, we have to consider a coaching change. Gallant has to be on the hot seat at the very least at that point. Like, guys, you're playing LA, Anaheim, Seattle, and San Jose. If you go 0-4 on that trip, you don't deserve to keep your job. Somebody has to lose their job at the very least. If it's not Gallant, it has to be Gord Murphy or somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody has to lose their job at that point.
And the
Because
question,
what are we waiting for?
and the question is, as fans, we don't ever hope to have our team lose, but do we hope to have our team lose to make this team possibly better? I mean, this is bad. I mean, we literally were in the conference final. I mean, listen, I don't care if I've said, we could have been bounced in round 1, but it didn't happen. We made the Final Four. Expectations are going to be higher. And the fact we're not even meeting anywhere near them, in terms of our play right now, it's scary. It's scary. And someone's going to lose their job. If we go 1-3 at the very least,
I'll even add a game to that. You play the Arizona Coyotes right before that trip. If you go 0-5 during that stretch, if somebody doesn't lose their job after this, they just waved the white flag and said, yeah, we're all okay with getting Connor Bedard at this point.
Yeah, 100%. And it's scary because it's a possibility that they could go 1-4, 0-5, 1-3, whatever.
Considering how bad they played against San Jose and Anaheim earlier in the year, yeah, it's realistic.
It's so unfortunate. I have to think it could. I think it could be a locker room problem. I think Trouba. I really do think Trouba could be beefing with someone right now. Right now, as we speak, he could be beefing with someone, and it wouldn't shock me if reports came out. And but
this is an interesting question.
God.
Out of all the players or coaches we have, if you could see 2 guys leave, who would it be? Well, coaches Gallant and Gord Murphy. When it comes to players, I don't see anything happening mid-season. If this team misses the playoffs, Trouba has to go.
Gone.
Has to.
Honestly,
I don't care. He has to go, especially if you hire a new coach. He didn't. He wasn't there to name him captain.
Yeah,
get him out of town. I'll drive him to the airport if I have to.
I'll join you too. We'll send him to Korea, bro. Fuck that.
And for another player, I question if Kreider has a long leash here anymore. I do. Because
taking salaries into account, I'm assuming.
That's what I'm doing, yeah. I'm taking salaries into account, and I feel like if you just take both of those contracts off the books and you make a statement there by getting rid of those 2, that's a serious shakeup right there that you can make. That is a serious shakeup. And
that I'll tell you right now, and I'm a big Kreider fan, and I'm not defending him in any way, but if you get rid of Kreider, then you might as well just get rid of Zibanejad.
He'd probably request a trade.
These 2 are, you have to understand, these 2 are so emotionally connected
that's why.
Where it's actually you
have
you know what
trade.
I mean? It's bad.
That's why you have to move Kreider if things go south. Because
and Zibanejad's gonna be tight as fuck. He's gonna want out too.
Okay. Then go elsewhere. If you're gonna be like that, then you don't deserve to be on this team. You don't deserve to be a New York Ranger if you're gonna be like that. It's either you're playing for
a guy. It's a
either
business.
You're playing for your pals and buddies, or you're playing for
Stanley Cup.
the crest and on the front of your uniform and the Stanley Cup. Which one is it? Because if you're all about friends and buddies, then see you later. Get out of town. I don't want you on my hockey team. Because if you're about being friends and everything, be about friends and be pals in the locker room, uniting over one goal. Winning the damn cup.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with making friends, but if you're really gonna have that really decide whether, you're gonna be happy to be a Ranger or not, yeah.
You gotta go then at that point. You gotta.
Yeah.
And this is a rough stretch coming up not in terms of scheduling. This is a just big test here.
If we lose the Islanders tomorrow, I don't even want to hear Gallant's press conference. He's gonna make some bullshit up. Either gonna
I'll listen, but I know it's gonna be some garbage. And
yeah,
I mean these next 3 weeks, monumental here for the season. This is you have your season on the line here in November, because if you can't beat up on these teams that you have the Islanders, Detroit. You can't lose to them twice in the same season. Nashville, you gotta I don't even want to make excuses out here. You gotta be able to beat these good teams too. And you gotta beat Nashville. And then on that West Coast trip, you have to, including the Coyotes here, you have to go 5-0 if you want any chance of us to take you serious here. You have to go 5-0. At the very least, 4-1. At the very least.
I agree. There's no excuse to lose to all those sorry West Coast teams.
In your opinions, what are I don't know if I want to. This question, I'm not about it, because what are we still growing for? We made the Final Four last year. There's no growing or anything. This is about taking a step further and going further and proving you're worthy, proving that you are a top team in the league.
Yeah, there's saying that. Yeah.
So there's no growth to be had here unless you make the Stanley Cup Finals or win it, or at the very least you show that you are a legit team in this league. There's no growth or anything to take positively, in my opinion, unless you somehow are so bad to the point where you get Connor Bedard. Sure, I'll be a little happy, but even then, why are we talking about this when we just made the Final Four?
Yeah,
why are we here?
We were just, talking about high draft picks only a couple of years ago, and now we're back to where we were. That's crazy to think about. Dang. I don't think Drury's going to let us, fall to that far. Realistically, he understands the goal is to make a playoffs, to win a Stanley Cup. Dolan and Drury won't let that happen to the team. Realistically, I think if once things start to really go down south, I think Drury's going to move. I think he's going to act. He's going to make some changes for sure.
Well, and should make a trade right now, because
and you'll start to see the changes, in the off season as well. But I mean, in terms of coaching, if things really start to go down south, he'll most certainly make a move.
He has to.
Who's on the market?
Guys, Zach Jones is getting benched every game. You're basically running with 5 defensemen every game.
Yeah.
You have to make a trade.
Forget
Justin Braun.
Yeah.
Brought him back.
Forget making a trade. All right, just get the team to play better. Don't waste your assets. Don't waste your draft picks on whatever you need. You need to make a trade. Don't even waste it. If your team is not playing well and it's not worth making a trade, just stay put. Just prepare for next season or whatever you got to do. Just don't even push.
Make some sort of move.
Don't push for something. Yeah, but at the same time, don't push for something that won't happen.
It's too bad they're low on the waiver wire. They can't even get anyone on waivers right now. They need someone to help on defense because now Ryan Lindgren's out for a while. You need help in the forward group. Julian Gauthier apparently got hurt now, and he was actually giving you quality offensive production. And Kravtsov, who knows how long he's going to be in the lineup again for.
Listen, if we're not in a position where we probably won't make a run for the cup, because that's the whole damn goal, is to win a cup, right? So if we're not in a position to win a Stanley Cup and we're probably going to get bounced in round 1, let's say, right? We're around like the trade deadline, and maybe we could solidify a wild card spot. Maybe we can't. You got to be honest with your team. Can we really make a push for this? If yes, then go ahead, make a couple of deals, trade a couple first rounders, make a couple big deals. If not, stay put. Whatever happens, happens. We make the playoffs, great. Hope for the best. If not, fine. We'll get a decent draft pick. And, we make big moves in the offseason. Fire Gallant, trade Truba. It's that's what you got to do. You got to be honest with your team. Don't just trade first round draft picks just to keep a reputation. Like, I get we're the Rangers, but you want to do what's best for your team and your future instead of just trying to stay competitive just because of the fact you're an original six and you're the Rangers and you just want to say you're in the playoffs. Like, I'd rather just go through like pains, like, times like this just to get a Stanley Cup instead of, just being competitive and just keep getting bounced in rounds 1 and 2 over and over again. We're not trying to be the Yankees and just try to be competitive and just to get bounced early. We're like, trying to build towards something to win a Stanley Cup. So, you just got to be honest with your team and down the stretch and see what's really going on. Are we, could we make a push? If not, then just stay put. And we're going to have to deal with the fact that we may miss the playoffs and at least we'll get a good draft pick. At least we'll get a good pick, good prospect just to add to that, depth, in our draft pool, in our, prospect pool. And, maybe the next year, coach, we do a lot better. We can use that pick or prospect and we can use him for another piece,
And this is exactly why I didn't want to address the Patrick Kane comment earlier. Chicago is better than us. We are that bad right now. Chicago is arguably better than us.
Yeah, and then we still have to give up Lafreniere and Kakko, and we're shit at the same time just to be more shit, just to go through another fucking rebuild. Imagine that.
And then our top players are still going to be here, and nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
What is the point?
We need players that want to be here, want to win.
They need a winner. If we're going to talk to Chicago, I said it to you, go for a guy like Jonathan Toews. We need leadership. We need
get the locker room straightened out. We need a guy that's, won in the past. You look, take a look at Mark Messier back then. He came in with, a couple other guys and, really gotten that locker room straightened out and they won a Stanley Cup. But, without Messier, do they really win that cup in 94? Because the big part of it was besides the fact he was a really good player, he's got that experience. He won, what was it, 4 other cups with Edmonton. He knows what it takes to win. He's been there, done that.
Not enough.
What'd you say?
Barker Goodrow's not enough.
Yeah, but Goodrow is a bottom 6. Like
that's what I'm saying. He's not enough.
We need a guy that's top 6 at the very least, and that's won the Stanley Cups at as a top 6 player. That's really contributed a lot, like greatly. Like top 6 players contribute more than bottom 6 guys, usually in cup championships.
But that's a leader. That's what separates Toews and Kane. I don't care that Kane has an A on his jersey. He got it as a thank you for the Stanley Cups thing because in reality,
Kane was a good player. Kane was a good player, but
but I don't see him much as a leader. Like Jonathan Toews, he's the guy. He's got the C there for a reason, and it's not a scenario where you just name a captain to name one like we did. It's more of we have a legit leader in Jonathan Toews, so
I wish we had a captain like Toews, Bergeron, one of those guys.
Wouldn't it be great?
Oh,
wouldn't it be great?
Would.
We could dream.
Yeah, but I think Trouba will be out very soon though. Otherwise, though.
Yeah, I think if they miss the playoffs, I think there's I can name 4 guys off the top of my head that I think are gone. I don't know, and I think it's warranted at that point. And the guys I'm talking about, I mentioned the 2 earlier, in Trouba and Kreider. I think Barker Goodrow's out because of his cap hit. I think Ryan Lindgren's out. Make a serious move and shake up if you have to. If you miss the playoffs, especially if you're a bottom feeding team, Make a change before you become the Toronto Maple Leafs, where it's all we're running it back because they're friends. Because if you
If we
have
go,
that mentality,
if we drop below like 500, like we become like 6-7, because right now I think we're like 6-4-3. If we become like 6-7, which is a real possibility, or just the moment we drop below 500, I think you'll go at you'll start to hear rumors probably. That's what I think. And
yeah,
because
have
like
to.
that can't happen, and and it could very likely happen. If I were to put money on it, I'd honestly put money on that it would happen. Like the way we're playing, I think I'd put money that in the month of November that we will drop below 500.
Wow. I mean, if they go 0-5 on those games I'm talking about, that game against Edmonton, Thanksgiving weekend, it is going to be ugly at the Garden if they lose that game. It is going to be ugly. I think a jersey gets thrown on the ice. It's going to be ugly.
Now the question is, Gallant gets fired along with his coach. I mean, will his coaching staff be fired? I don't know, because you need someone to step in, or maybe you can get in Chris Knobloch from Hartford and his staff and bring him up, or whatever.
Evans left.
Well, let's not do that one again.
That's better than we'll have more 9-goal games. Big deal, right? But the question is, who's really on the market to replace?
I mean, if the rumors are true, Trotz said by December he would be willing to coach again.
December?
Yep, that's the rumor.
December.
It has to be December, he said. That's the rumor.
Fuck. I mean, do we just wait and see who else or could be on the market, or do we just hop on that just and hope for the best?
I mean, I'd hop all over that because you need a guy at this point that has won a cup in this league and has proven to be a good coach. Everybody thought the Islanders were dead in the water when John Tavares left. Imagine he steps in this locker room with actual talented players like Zibanejad and Panarin up front.
Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world.
And fuck it. I mean, guys, listen, we hire Trotz. Buckle up because we're going to actually see a lot of boring hockey games, but you got to do what you got to do to win.
100%.
At this point, I mean, we've tried to hope and pray that, we'll get a guy or a coach and that can really make this team play good on both sides of the puck, offensively and defensively, quality hockey games,
and
right?
If you're not going to score, you might as well play good defense.
Yeah, and just try to win 1-goal games, 1-0 games, 2-1 games. Ideally, I would like to see this team play good on both sides of the puck. Fortunately, we're not capable of doing that. So, what's more important, offense or defense? Rather play good defense than play good offense with shit defense, right? So, then you hire Trotz and, hopefully you can, get shit figured out since, I think he's better. He should be better at, holding players accountable. I don't know, but, yeah, I'd rather just, watch boring hockey games, but if we fucking win, I guess who cares at that point, right?
Yep. They got to do.
I mean, you just got to do what you got to do because this is unacceptable. And if the players are not going to be coachable enough to, play good on both sides of the puck and they're really that lazy, got to do what you got to do. Hire Trotz, just play defense, play conservative and call it a day. That's what you got to do.
This comment, my issue with the preseason is that they looked lazy and they weren't building good habits. Hopefully this road trip can build good habits. It's not the middle of the season. A lot of hockey left. Yeah, but it's a known thing that if you're not above the playoff line by Thanksgiving, your chances of making the playoffs are very low. Yeah, they're very low. And it's just the reality of the situation. And if they choke on this West Coast trip,
which is possible.
Because like we said, look at how they played against Anaheim and San Jose earlier in the year. Yeah, sure, they scored 6 goals, but right now, they're not putting the puck in the net like that.
They let up 4 goals against Anaheim, too, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on. Can't happen. Those games you gotta like really put, shut them down and not give them anything.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, I was gonna ask this question, but we kind of already tackled this one.
Does it
That
start
at
worse
the
than last year's? Yes, probably.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
what the fuck?
because and I'm only putting it up because there's people on Twitter trying to say, "Oh, well, we'll be fine because we have the same amount of wins as we had last year at this time."
Listen, if we had this start, like right now, if we had to start last year, first year coaches go with Gallant, I would say maybe not a big deal. We're adjusting to the system. I'm not going to complain, right? We're above 500. We're right there, whatever. But it's the fact that we made the conference final and we're playing this poorly.
Yep.
We
You should be
got to
building
build
off
off
of
of
what you
that. And that's
just did.
why we're here talking about our concerns about this team, because how do you go from that to what we're doing right now? Like, how do you not like build off of something like that, especially considering how young we are? Like, how do you not, now you're losing to David Quinn's San Jose Sharks. Now you're losing to the Red Wings, blowing a 2-goal lead,
They teased us opening night.
Yeah.
They really did.
Looks so promising.
It looked like this was going to be one of the best teams in hockey, and I was like, wow, this team, they play this way for 82. Unrealistic, but as long as they play it for a good amount of the majority of the season, wow, this team's going to win the President's Trophy. That faded quickly. Way too quickly, too.
Yeah.
So, there's that. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about as well, we have new lines in practice as well. So, again, Gallant trying to Galaxy brain it. How are we feeling? So, it's looking like the first line was, what was it? Panarin, Zibanejad, Kakko. Second line was VC, Trocheck, Lafreniere. Third line, Kreider, Hedel, and Kravtsov. Fourth line was Carpenter, Goudreau, and Blay.
I don't hate it. You're trying something out. I like Panarin and Zibanejad together. Fucking try and get them going, because Mika Zibanejad's stats have been very misleading. He is not scoring at even strength. Panarin, again, he's racking up half the points at least on the power play. Try and hopefully get them to wake up 5-on-5. Kreider to the third line with Hedel and Kravtsov, I think. I don't know. Kreider's got to wake up. He's nowhere close to that 50 goal pace.
Don't say Kreider. Everyone's wake up, bro. I hate when people just use Kreider as a scapegoat. No disrespect, but holy cow. Everyone's got to wake up.
Everyone's got to wake up, exactly. So, we're trying something else. I don't know about VZ on the second line with Trocheck, but I mean, what options do you have anymore?
I'm fine with VC on the second line. I think he's been one of the better players, to be honest. So that wasn't one of my issues. I don't really have an issue with the lineup. I think you're finally somewhat sending a message here, but I still don't feel it's enough of a message. There needs to be more. There needs to be more here, and he needs to bench someone and actually mean it, because this isn't enough. And Luca, to answer this, thank you for asking, but I've been great outside of the Rangers playing bad. Trey Turner's gonna be a Met. What is there to be upset about? Like, forget hockey. Baseball season's right around the corner already. It's almost pitchers and catchers reporting. So, what is there to be disappointed about? I can't believe I said I missed the Mets. That's tough. I've heard that before. I'm not American, so I don't really know when Thanksgiving is. It is November 24th. So, not a lot of time here.
Nope, not at all. And we hope that they, get it together. But I mean, do we not hope that they do, so we can actually get a better coach? So, and maybe Trouba goes. Who knows?
Well, it depends, because if they're winning, and they're winning in convincing fashion.
Yeah, different story. But if we're
But if we're winning and it's the same garbage of these just fluke wins and everything, then no, not interested.
Yeah, we just gotta win our games in convincing fashion, like you said, like how we used to. Now we don't even do such a thing. Now it's just so rare to do so, to do that.
Why are we in this position?
Yeah, I don't know where Nico went. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, I don't know.
Just Final Four.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew the answer to that. Nico, enough of your Metro PCS Wi-Fi. We've already discussed this.
Yeah, we've already established this horrible Wi-Fi.
Enough of your Metro PCS or Cricket Wireless. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. If you know the commercial, that's the song they play.
So wait, what were we? The new? Oh yeah, we
were just saying, why are we here? Why are we here for Final Four to this?
It's tough.
I think there's personally, besides the fact that there's issues with the system, I think there's issues in the locker room and no one knows about it. I think Trouba's really beefing, low key. I think someone said something bad about Trouba and they're beefing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how does Alexa answer to Trouba? Like, Alexa, shut up. Not right now, buddy. Not right now. I see Jacob Trouba's beefing and Alexa's like, sorry, I did not understand. Well, you better soon.
Well, even she knows what's up with Jacob Trouba being awful. Everyone knows what's up now. But does anyone have anything to add before we end things here?
Trade Trouba, get our shit together. We gotta play better, and fire Gallant until he can prove that he can get our team to play a lot better in convincing fashion and style. And yeah, trade Trouba, like I said, and just me repeating the same thing like a million times. Yeah, and maybe hire Trotz. Ideally, like someone else probably, but you know what? Might as well just trap. Let's just hire Trotz.
Nico.
Better beat the New York Islanders tomorrow, because if you go out there and get embarrassed,
yeah, we'll be embarrassed and we'll lose, unfortunately.
I have a bad feeling. I have a bad feeling.
Yeah, me too. And that means we're gonna fucking lose. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch the game or not. That's how embarrassed I feel.
Then again.
God, we have to win this game, but I know we won't. Oof.
Yeah, this is your speaking of that, this is your reminder to everyone listening and in chat. Don't feel like you have to watch the game. Don't if they're gonna keep playing this way, they don't deserve your time. And
True.
Don't show up the games too. If
they're not gonna show up the game,
if they're not
gonna
to show up.
Yeah, if they're not gonna show up, you don't have to either. There you go.
You don't have to watch the games. I'm here for you. I'm here for you to talk about the games because I'm the sucker that watches 82. I'm here for you guys. You guys just watch the videos and you'll hear what happened in the game. So let me be the one to suffer. Just save yourself. Spend your time doing literally anything else that could be more productive if they keep playing this way. So that's just your reminder there. I don't really have anything else to add other than, like Nick said, trade Trouba.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with that too.
I hope Trouba actually does so bad to the point where the whole NHL realizes how bad he is. He needs to be in the ECHL. I want
his downfall.
I pray on his downfall. I'm not even gonna lie.
We should all pray on his downfall. I mean, he's a douche. He really is. I don't even care any experience that anyone has had. Evan, you want to tell the story or no?
Nah. We'll leave it alone.
Yeah. He basically.
I forgot though. Let's do predictions quickly for the next 3 games. So
all right.
We do a podcast on Saturday. Okay. What are the predictions? You have the Islanders, Detroit, and Nashville.
I'm gonna say we take an L against the Islanders, straight up L regulation. Yep. I say we take. You know what? No, I'm not going to say that. I say we take another. I could see us taking a point, but I'm going to say we take another L against Detroit, and I'm going to say we take a point against Nashville at least. But I could also see us taking a point in Detroit at least, and or OTL or shootout L, and then losing straight up to Nashville. But I could see us also losing both in in a shootout or overtime. Regardless, they're all L's.
I'm going to be a bit more confident. I'll say 1-1-1.
1-1-1. Fair enough.
I'm gonna go. I said they lose
I
that.
basically just said 1-2. So I mean,
I think the Islanders one's regulation. By the way, I think that's the no doubt loss here in regulation.
Yeah, I say they lose that one, and I'll try and be a positive Peter, and they take the next two. They get a big wake up call, players meeting, and everything.
Positive Peter, baby. Let's go.
Nico, just say we suck when we're losing. Stop with the TikTok bullshit.
I'm trying to be positive.
You're only
No,
going to
he
lose.
needs more content.
Listen, Nico, you're only going to lose 10,000 followers for you being negative. Just say it.
To take that on it.
No,
Dude,
Nico needs his
you'll
content.
lose 10,000 followers. That's just the world we fucking live in.
No, he needs his content.
Yeah, but he needs to keep his followers, which is respectful. First, I get it. Can't believe we actually live with people. But whatever.
I respect the positive Peter energy though. I'm hoping
I
you're
do,
right.
but I don't. I do it in a way where you're trying to protect your account, but I don't because you're trying to protect your account at the same time.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I can see them losing, but how many L's in a row can you suffer after going to the Final Four?
Does this comment correlate with the fact that he looks like Braden Schneider? Is that the correlation here?
Nico pulls no
I
bunnies.
can't believe people say I look like Braden Schneider. I don't see it at all.
Nico, you pull no bunnies. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's right. We're down bad over here.
No. Nico pulls a ton of bunnies, but not as much as Chad. Not nearly as much as Chad.
No, never. No one can as much as Chad. That's
Chad,
Chad.
everyone.
Notice how we start going downhill when Chad leaves.
Everyone's here.
Hey.
Everyone's here, and then Chad's just here, like the ultimate bunny wheeler.
We miss you, Chad. We miss you,
Yeah,
Chad.
honestly, I'm gonna pray to Chad, even though he's alive.
Come back, Chad.
Yeah, come back, Chad.
That's
Chad
gonna be where we end things. Thank you for watching this. If you are on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the podcast. And if you're listening to the audio version, give us a review and rating, all of that. And we will see you guys in the next episode on Saturday. Let's go Rangers, I guess.